Alright, let's go through the leveling process a little bit next. So first of all, the gear that you want to collect together to run at the beginning. Fairly standard stuff overall. Gold rim for resistances. I really like using String of Servitude as well to just really make the whole capping resists thing very easy as you level. Wanderlust, Loctonio Caress, dual Red Beak, dual Black Heart, Bramblejack, Araku Tiki. All of these are things that you can just equip at level 1 that give you good damage. In this case, movement speed, mana regen, can't be frozen are all things that really make the leveling process a lot nicer and easier. And then of course some Quicksilver Flasks as well. At level 1, just go with Ground Slam. If you want, when you hit level 12, you can switch over to Sunder. I think Ground Slam is totally fine for leveling. I'm not a big fan of Sunder, I'm not really sure why, but it's obviously a great choice for leveling, so feel free to switch to that when you can. In terms of your weapons at level 6, you can switch over to the Screaming Eagle at level 6, and the Griffin at level 32. Honestly, this should carry you all the way to level 32. It might start feeling a little slow at the very end there, but it can do the job just fine. And then you switch to the Skava at level 60 for the last 8 levels until you can use the Razor of the Seventh Sun. I like switching to Ambu's Charge. It's a great chest, life, all resist, a little bit of endurance charge generation, which is actually relevant on this build, and the life regen if you have been hit are all great. Very solid leveling chest, ready at level 43. Basically, once you finish the first 5 acts, you can toss that on. A little earlier than that, you'll probably want to throw this on as soon as you can and put Warlord's Mark in it. It will give you the life and mana leech you need to, again, further smooth out the leveling process, as well as provide you a great source of endurance charges for when you start to switch over to Tectonic Slam, which is at level 28. Also, once you spec into Elemental Overload, this is a great amulet to toss on because it will help you more reliably proc that Elemental Overload early on before there are absolutely massive dense packs of monsters, and before your attack speed is high enough, it may not be a buff that is consistently up, and this will just smooth that out. As well, once resistances are not a problem anymore, but you're not quite ready for your super endgame belt, the Belt of the Deceiver is a great option. As always, for melee classes, the Magnate is also a pretty decent one that provides a bunch of resistances, but has other benefits as well. So, in terms of the gearing, pretty straightforward. I think fairly consistent with what you'll find with most melee leveling. In terms of the passive skill tree, I suggest getting things that provide a lot of utility first, things like base stats, mana regeneration, elemental resistances, all of those kinds of things are great. Sometimes I spec into this early if I need, and then keep it there for a while until I no longer need that. But things like this here give you a bunch of dex and reduced mana cost. Up here, again, you have more dex and accuracy. You have some int here and some dex and int that you get by going through these nodes here to make your way to the Templar starting area, increased AoE. All of these things, again, will just improve quality of life a ton as you are progressing your character. From there, you're going to want Warcry nodes and endurance charge nodes pretty much as soon as you can get them, grabbing kind of life as needed along the way. For the most part, the fact that you are twinked out should probably carry you damage-wise with your gear. As soon as you feel like you are tanky enough, though, and can manage it, you want to start speccing some damage nodes. This is a good one to get fairly early, or this one here, because they are generic and you don't have to worry about using swords, which you won't be using until level 60. And then getting this leech so you can get rid of that Mark of the Submission ring and swap over to some kind of rare ring sooner rather than later is a great choice. If you want, once you spec into this, you can grab like a Lahoop of All, is a pretty decent choice that covers resistances as well as just gives you all kinds of stats that you need. And then from there, you just kind of grab stuff as needed, get your regen here, here, here for once the rage stacks start becoming an issue and causing enough degen that it is noticeable when you are moving between packs, and grabbing life as you feel you need tankiness, and damage as you feel you need damage. In terms of the Ascendancy order, I think Warbringer is top priority because it allows you to switch to using Tectonic Slam. Level 28 is right around the level at which you can grab your first 2 Ascendancy points. It's somewhere around level 30, I think, that the zone is. So that lines up pretty nicely. Once you get this and you have your mark of submission, you will be able to use Tectonic Slam pretty comfortably. From there, I would probably spec into Rite of Ruin before I go this route. The extra movement speed will make the leveling process a lot better, and stun immunity is always great. From there, you can finish off with Aspect of Carnage, and that should be the last points that you need.